prepared something just in case. And I never got to read it, so I'll read it now. Okay, you could say my dad is a bit of a recluse, staying close to his family, his students, and his work.
Proceed.
Not venturing out very far into the real world, unless, of course, led firmly and affectionately alongside my mom. I and sometimes others in my family have often questioned whether this is healthy for a grown man with a career which requires an acute insight into the human character and society in general. Well, when you look at my dad's work, you'll see this is a gross underestimation of his intellect, sensitivity, and creative spirit. One of the most amazing things about my dad is how perfectly at peace he is with himself and by himself. He is happiest and most at home when he can lose himself in a project without any conventions, rules, or imposed structure. Now, we know my dad is a brilliant writer and very clever and talented film editor, but he is also known in close circles for his cartoons and sculptures, restoring vintage cars, making Grandpa Bob videos for the grandchildren, building his own Avid, or taking apart a Ken. He loses himself in his process, often expressing a childlike wonder at what he alone can accomplish. Lucky for me, I got to not only be raised by this man, but also got to assist him for a number of films. His work speaks for himself. But what some people may not know about him is the humor in which he injects into the everyday and sometimes tedious process. He was fiercely loyal to his directors and crews, generous with his time, and modeled the utmost integrity. I know his USC students feel the same way. Here's one of my favorite stories. Against the will of my dad and his director, the studio kept wanting to screen the film to give notes, therefore taking the work picture away from him. After one too many requests, he told the executive that he had just rebalanced the film, and the film had to cure for 2 weeks. That's totally bogus. The said executive made his sincere apologies and never called again. It's this unique creative expression that so attracted directors who were wanting to break convention and also collaborate on a gut level. They found in my dad a man with a natural sensitivity to what's genuine, emotional, and humorous about human relationships and behavior. On a personal note, Dad, I treasure everything you've given me as a father, a role model, and a teacher. I love you, and I'm so proud of you.
Love you too. You're beautiful. My eyes are wet. That's great.
I forgot to add one more thing that I skipped over because I was nervous. But it's important because what you wrote about him, which is so lovely, reminded me of it. And that is, there have been many a times over the years that I've been sort of befuddled and confused about a patient I was seeing, and I would bring it to Dad, to Bob, and I'd explain my my work and what was going on, and ask him what he would think, what he thinks, and unbelievably, this man who often thinks he doesn't have anything to say could zero right into the heart and soul of the person I was seeing and tell me, but this is what's happening. And I would say, but I never thought of that. And it really shows, it helps me understand and see in this way why these famous directors couldn't do without you, because they knew that you got it and you get it. Much more than you give yourself credit for, but so much I appreciate and feel grateful for as well.
Thank you. Thank you. All the confidences were broken. Thank you.
I didn't prepare anything.
Just say something, Mom. Just say something.
I'm thinking on the top of my head, I'm thinking of what to say. You know, and we had plans a couple weeks ago to go to, Leslie and I, got a house in Ojai for us all to go to, and it didn't work out. Kids were sick, and we just couldn't all go. So the four of us went, and I'm just thinking about that, and before I tell you what came up, I just, you know, Dad, you are so, forgive me, because I'm going off the top of my head, but you're so always there in this way that is so comforting. You know, every time there's something going on, I can call you and you will have something comforting to say, always. You know, it's like that blue shirt that we buy you every year for your birthday. It's this predictable thing and this way about you that you are always comforting. And when we were away in Ojai, just the four of us, which really, I'm sorry kids, but I'm grateful for having that time with just the four of us. It was really wonderful. And when, you know, there was a sound in the morning, and it was Leslie getting up at like 5 in the morning with Bo, but I didn't think it was her. I heard a sound, and what immediately came to mind was Dad going downstairs, and I was gonna get up and get that spoonful of honey that you used to feed me every day when I woke up as a kid. And it was it's just so symbolic of who you are. You know, you give that spoonful of honey. You do, and it's just, so I felt it that morning. You know, like, I gotta go downstairs, I gotta be the first person up and get that spoonful of honey. Get that goodness, you know, which is what we get when we call you if something's going on or whatever. You just are this consistent person, this rock. You know, for me, I think for all of us, and that little piece of my memory of our childhood just reminds me, you know, it just sticks with me, and I hadn't thought of it for a long time until that weekend, and you know, I try and be that way with my kids too. I like to be the first one up. I like to be the first one to greet everybody, and to, you know, I don't stay in a good mood for very long, but I try to start off that way. You know, I try to start off hugging everyone and being kind and friendly, and it sometimes only takes like 5 minutes to go away, but I think, you know, it's in me because it was you gave that to me, and I'm so grateful.
I didn't have any honey for you.
So, happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm so lucky to have you guys.
Is there anything?
Love you too.